Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This video is going to be a mini lesson that we were supposed to see on Friday, March 12th. So I'm going to share my screen real quick with you and just kind of outline what our plan was supposed to be. On this day, we were supposed to go through word problems on proportions. That's what this mini lesson is on. I still have the expectation that you go into ALEKS after this and complete the assignment that is in there for you. It is titled 3/12 word problems on proportions. Okay. So give me a second here. I'm just going to pull up my camera as usual, and we are going to get started. So word problems on proportions. Essentially, what you see there in that first little bullet point is we're trying to find some missing value of something based off of our proportion. So we're going to set up a proportion. We're going to compare values. We're going to be able to kind of, determine based off of a separate situation besides the one that's given to us. Are we able to determine, how many miles somebody travels in an X amount of time, or how many, revolutions something makes in X amount of time? That's a certain situation that might arise for us, right? So we're going to see a couple examples here. I'm just going to walk you through two, and we're going to be able to set up a proportion based off of our situation and then be able to determine, given that, what would the rate be moving forward? Okay. So for example, Brittany runs 5 miles in 38 minutes. Okay. How many miles would she run in 57 minutes? So they give us one situation, they give us a length and a length of time, and we're going to be able to try and use that and form a ratio and proportion to determine the length of time and how much distance would be traveled in a separate length of time. Okay. So she runs 5 miles, and this is how we're going to set up our proportion. We'll take that first piece of information. She runs 5 miles in 38 minutes. Okay. 5 miles for every 38 minutes. That's something that you could think about as you set up your first fraction there. And they're asking us how many miles. So we're trying to find a distance, right? So we're going to set this equal to X. We'll call X our variable. That'll be the amount of miles that is traveled by Brittany over our other known value. And this particular situation is the 57 minutes. Okay. So we know that she runs 5 miles in 38 minutes. We're trying to find the total distance that she's going to be able to run in 57 minutes, given this proportion. So remember back to earlier this week when we were talking about how to solve proportions and do what's called cross multiplying. We're going to go through the same process here to find that missing variable in our numerator. Okay. What we can do is 57 times 5, right? When we do our cross multiplying, we'll multiply the denominator in one fraction by the numerator in another. And we could do the same thing over here. So we'll have 38 times X, and we're going to separate that with an equal sign. Okay. So we set up our proportion to start. We cross multiply to solve for that missing variable. Then what we're going to do is simplify this. So I have 57 times 5. You can use a calculator, you can use Desmos, whatever tool you're going to use to help you simplify. 57 times 5 is going to give me 285. 38x is going to stay the same. Now, something that
Pardon this interruption. Would all of the sub-teachers please go to the nearest grade level office that you are at? Could you please go to the nearest grade level office that you are near? Thank you. Bye.
Sorry for the interruption. So something that I've noticed that we've been struggling with is understanding what to do from this step here. So I have 38 times X, right? They're being multiplied. To undo multiplication, you do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So what I'm going to do to get X by itself and find that missing distance is divide both sides by 38. So now I have 285 divided by 38 is equal to X. And I'll go ahead and write that in as well. And again, you can use a calculator, you can use Desmos, whatever you need to do to find that value. Well, 285 divided by 38 is going to give you 7.5, right? Now let's recall what this stands for. We solved for X. That was the total amount of miles that Brittany could run in those 57 minutes. So we would want to be able to write this as 7.5 miles for our final answer, right? So again, just to reiterate a point from earlier, we took one situation and we used that ratio to set up a proportion and apply it to a separate situation with a different time or a different distance or different revolution, right? Whatever you're discussing, whatever the situation is at hand. Okay. Let's take a look at another example. Xander giving you a shout out here. Xander can play the drums at a rate of 120 beats per minute. Okay. How many beats can he play in 8 minutes? So very similar to what we just saw, right? Instead of miles over minutes, now we have beats per minute. Okay. So we'll take the first piece of information, 120 beats per minute. So in my numerator, I'll put 120 beats. In my denominator, I'll put 1 minute. And then it's asking me how many beats can he play in 8 minutes? Let's make sure that we're aware of what they're asking us, right? How many beats? We're going to put our variable in the other fraction wherever we see the same kind of unit. So I'll put my X where the beats is here because that's what I'm trying to solve for. And in this situation, we're looking for 8 minutes. How many beats can be played in 8 minutes? Well, the way that we solve this is exactly the same, right? We're going to use this proportion. We're going to cross multiply and then simplify however we need to. So I'm going to multiply the 8 by the 20. Again, the denominator of one fraction by the numerator of another. And what's nice about this setup here is I just have 1 minute times X. So it's just 1 times X or X. I'm not going to have to worry about dividing in the end to simplify. Okay. 120 times 8. Again, use a calculator, use Desmos, whatever will help you simplify. This becomes 960, which is equal to X. And then again, let's refer to what we're trying to find, right? We were trying to find how many beats he can play in 8 minutes. So this is 960 beats. Okay. And that's your final answer. So just to recap, you take your one situation, set up a fraction, set it equal to another fraction where you have a missing variable. Make sure that you put the variable in the correct spot based off of the unit that you're trying to find. Cross multiply, simplify however you can. If you need to round your answers, probably round in the nearest tenth. I believe that's what Alex is going to allow you to do. And then just kind of work from there. Make sure that you're including units in your answers if it is not already included for you. Okay. So that is the lesson on word problems on proportions. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Schoology through messages or anything like that. The video lesson, so this video will be found in the folder that's titled 3/12. So today's Friday, March 12th. So this video will end up in this folder here, okay? And just to kind of recap some important ideas from the week, remember your assignments are due by Sunday, your minutes on Alex are due by Sunday. And if you have taken notes during this week, you can receive some extra credit by uploading those as well. Remember, it is a point for each mini lesson that you took notes on, okay? Enjoy your weekend. I will see you all on Monday and take care.